Many people are interested in trying astral projecting, but they're not going there because they are scared. And for a good reason, I'll tell you. So today I want to share with you a few safety tips that helped me when I was just starting to astral project back in the day. By now, I do quantum travel and I just jump through the astral realm. But for those of you who are just beginning, these tips should help. First of all, when you are just starting to astral project, pulling the astral body, your non-physical astral body, out of your physical body is going to feel very interesting. And then you'll find yourself standing in the middle of the room while you can see your body laying down, your physical body laying down. From this point on, you can proceed to walk around your house or start floating somewhere else, directing yourself in a different place. So the tip number one that I learned from a shaman who actually somewhat monitored my progression with the astral projecting back in the day. First tip that he shared was always remember where your body is. Always pay attention to keep in mind where you left your body, because with the astral realm you can venture so far away you might need to instantly return to your body. So you, in your astral mind, keep the connection with your body at all times. Tip number two, do not engage any spirits that might want to play with you or intimidate you or just mess with you. When you come out into the astral realm, you're not going to be there alone. Very often you see, or it looks as if you are alone for a while, but as you start venturing away from your body, the farther you go, the more spirits are going to be around. Especially if you decide to fly over, let's say, a city, the populated area, or especially the cemetery, which I used to do because I was very curious about what goes on in the non-physical around the cemetery. So my astral projections were straight to the cemetery and then find out what's going on there. So there are spirits in the astral realm. Astral realm is as populated as our world. If you look around, there are a lot of people around. Even if it doesn't look that way from the beginning, you might encounter spirits of different kinds. You might encounter dead souls. If you're going to fly over a cemetery like I did, there are a lot of sleeping souls that are floating around, and you can see them in the astral realm. And so some of these spirits might want to interact with you. My teacher's recommendations were do not engage in any sort of interaction with any sort of spirits, because you don't know what the intention really is. The obviously aggressive ones are kind of a blessing in a way, because you know what to do. When you are in this realm, you might at the beginning think that you can only float or move about as fast as the human mind takes you, as fast as you are used to moving or walking or floating in your physical reality. But the truth is that you can generate incredible speed, if you wish to, in your astral body. So if you are in a situation where you are observing and there are some spirits that are interested in engaging you in some way, just literally send yourself out of that situation as fast as you possibly can. You can kind of hop into a whole new destination, if you wish. Remember that you can create anything you want here. You can create that kind of speed, and you can send your body, your astral body, at an incredible speed to different destinations, so that these spirits are going to stay behind. Spirits that are around cemeteries, for example, they're usually living there. They're kind of hanging out there. They're not normally going to chase you. Spirits don't want to mess with you because they see that you're a newbie and they want to scare you. There are, I think, these kind of jobs in the astral dimension because they just try to intimidate you so that you don't do it again. Humans technically do not belong in that realm. So when the, big-eyed, newly projected astral body shows up on the astral plane, there are spirits that would sometimes want to engage you in a way as to intimidate you to not do it again, or just to mess with you straightforward. And so when these situations happen, remember that you can kind of run or float or get yourself out of there as fast as possible. Do not engage with these spirits unless you are trained in what's called astral combat. And because all of this was happening when I was in my young years, and that was still the time when my mentality did not develop to the present level of consciousness, I wanted to be trained in the astral combat. And so my teacher, that shaman I'm talking about, did train me. And these are the situations that you might read in the old books of Carlos Castaneda, where the shamans in the non-physical and the shape-shifting forms of different animal spirits, they kind of figure out their territorial conflicts in the astral realm. And so I did a bunch of that just for training. But now I don't even want to go there because we are in the next level of consciousness where the ideal case scenario is do not engage. How do you stay safe in the astral realm? How do you stay safe with spirits? Do not engage with them. That's the way of staying safe. Another way of staying safe with the spirits is to remember that it's a vibrational realm and they respond to your frequency. So if you see something approaching and you experience this terror, that's it. You just open the door for them to mess with you. But if you have trained your mind before you ventured out into the astral, that you're not going to be scared no matter what, you're not going to produce this kind of energy, and so you're not as much of an interesting target for them or an interesting subject. Here I'll tell you a little story that happened to me when I was starting to quantum project or quantum travel, if you wish, which literally means bypassing the astral realm and jumping into dimensions that are considered higher dimensions, a different level of consciousness. And so you do not encounter any such situations in these realms. I did not know the breathing technique then, and I was just doing it the same way as I was astral projecting, by deep relaxation and pulling that or pushing that astral body out. And then I was trying to generate intense speed to bypass and fly through the astral realms. And the first time I did that, I got kind of stuck. So there's like a tunnel, and you have your destination at the end of that tunnel. In the quantum travel, that you fly through that really fast and it just spits you right where you want to be. But I was still not quite in the quantum travel space. So I'm floating fast enough, really fast, but kind of floating compared to the instant with the quantum. So I'm floating through the tunnel, and then I got stuck at the end. And I know the astral realm is behind me, the tunnel is open, and I can see my destination, but I can't get out. And at that moment, two lizard heads just showed up right here, left side, right side. And in this space, you can see 360. So it was very unpleasant because they were very close. It's like you can smell their breath. Not really, because we are in the non-physical space, but I got so scared. I felt like the hair stood up on my spine virtually, and so I immediately pulled right back into my body, back into the body. By the way, back into the body, a good tip or a good way also to not engage with the spirits. So if you don't feel that you can generate the speed to get away from them, or if they really started to chase you, which doesn't really happen, they don't chase you for a long time, never happened to me, but you can pull yourself back into the body, game over. So with this situation with the lizard heads, I went and I consulted with someone who was familiar with these things, and I said, hey, what do I do? It seems like there are these like lizards and I'm stuck at the end of the tunnel. And he said, first of all, train yourself to not experience fear. Play that scenario in your mind enough times that it kind of becomes familiar and no big deal. And then he said, just say no. Okay, so I played with that for about a week in my mind, and when I felt that I'm comfortable, I said, all right, let's go. So again, the tunnel and my destination that I set is right there, and boop, stop for a second at the end, and the lizards come in again. And I felt pretty calm. And what I did was kind of this, like, no. And instantly I got released into the destination where I wanted to go. I wanted to go to the red planet. So in any case, do not engage, do not experience fear. If you are in a situation that is that close, say no. Remember that you can generate incredible speed. And I mentioned the tunnel. It's an interesting experience there, because when you have a destination in mind, to me at least, it looked like I'm in this traveling inside like a tube or like a road of my own, and there were offshoots to that road when I was astral projecting and I was going slow. So you kind of on your own path and in your tube or in your pipe or on your road, on your way, and you're floating over places, like you can look and see, oh, there's the city, there's my mom right there with her car or something like that. You just keep going. But the final tip that I want to share with you today is do not take the offshoots, meaning do not deviate from your direct course, the course that you set. These they kind of feel windy, like they pull you in a little bit, like you just kind of want to like, oh, what's in here? So the original teacher told me, do not ever turn into these little offshoots of your main course, because you might get trapped, you might get stuck, or you might end up in a maze. And there are mazes in astral and low astral dimensions, especially in the low astral dimensions. And the spirits that come after you to mess with you, or just because they are in that, especially in the low astral dimension, the consciousness is conflict. Everything is figured out by figuring out who is stronger through combat, through attacking. So if you're in the low astral and the spirits start chasing you, very often they try to chase you into offshoot. Do not, if you are getting away from spirits and you have a tunnel or the way in front of you, logical way of action is to turn into one of these little offshoot of your main course. Do not do that. That's what they're trying to achieve, and they're trying to maybe sometimes trap you in the maze just for them to laugh at you, or just to scare you, or just to keep you, sometimes also to keep you. The final point that my teacher originally told me, before he trained me and before I got comfortable to engage if I had to, or just to even practice, and we did practice with some shamans where you come out and you can shapeshift yourself into anything you want. I was taking on the shape of a wolf, and I remember the one that I was practicing with was taking on the shape of like a bigger kind of cat. And we were in the same room in the physical, but in the astral we were engaging in this kind of training, the battle, figuring out who is stronger and who got this turf or what have you. So that was interesting enough, but when we were done, I found blood and cat fur in the room, on the floor, physical blood and physical cat fur from the whatever, scratching or whatever that took place there. What happens in the astral plane can affect the physical body while the body is just laying there. Pay attention where your body is, so to return to it. Do not venture too far from the body in a way that you forgot completely where your body is at. Do not engage in astral combat unless you're trained in it. Because if you do get harmed in the astral plane, your body will feel it. Your body will experience symptoms that are correlated to that experience. Regardless of all these things that are good to know when you're just starting, I have to say that astral travel is safe enough. It's just as safe as you getting out of your house and driving somewhere. So it's not that you go there and you're constantly being proactively attacked. It happens, but it's not something that is expected. You need to know these things, and you need to be prepared, and you need to be prepared in your mind just to make sure that everything goes well. But I did astral projecting for years before I learned the quantum travel, and in between I did this like in between thing with the lizards that I just described. And so I'm still here, I'm still in one place, and I did engage into astral combat too. So don't worry about it. Just start practicing. Remember that generating fear is something that makes you a target. So practice in your mind first to be calm and know that you got this. And then you got this. My name is Isabella Greene. Thank you for following me. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll bring you all kinds of information on this channel. And if you'd like to have a private session with me, you can reach me at isabellagreene.com. I'll see you next time. Take care now. Namaste.